Magandang araw sa inyo, PVL fans. Rainy weather here today in Ilocos Norte, but even though it's cold, we can feel the heat as we will be completing our semifinals cast. Today, these teams are in a must-win situation. The Petro Gazz Angels need to shake off their losses in order to get their mind focused against the Balipure water defenders, who themselves need every win they can get. Santa Lucia also themselves need to get their win, so watch out for their energy against the Perla Spikers, who need to win to uplift their spirits. As we get more and more of these matches in the elimination round, the PVL is becoming more and more tense. Who will rise out to the occasion and come out as stars? Let's find out here in PVL on One Sports.
Good afternoon, sports fans. We are coming to you live from the PCV Social, Civic, and Cultural Center here in Bacara, Ilocos Norte, as we bring you One Sports' live and exclusive coverage of the first and only pro volleyball league here in the country. This is the Premier Volleyball League Open Conference. Now, our first offering this Tuesday, we got the Petro Gazz Angels versus the Balipure Water Defenders. And right after, at 6 p.m., it's going to be the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors versus the Perla Spikers. There you have it on your screens. First game, Petro Gazz Angels contra Balipure Water Defenders. It's going to be a good game. Magkakaalaman na. And later on at 6 p.m., the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors versus the Perla Spikers. Also another good game. Of course, you can catch all the action right here on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Hello everybody, my name is Billy Capistrano, and joining me today again is Mosey Ravena. Hello again, Mosey.
Hello, Billy.
Great to be working with you on this fine Tuesday, and as you know, as you sprint closer to the semifinals, every single game is becoming more and more crucial. So why don't we check in on our teams, where they're at this stage of the competition?
Well, you know, Billy, we're not closing our Final Four door just yet, no? And, but siguro itong next couple of days will be really important for all the teams. Well, yung Petro Gazz Angels with 4-2 and Balipure with 2-4. Well, the Gazz Angels had their 3-game winning streak, and last Sunday nga, no, parang naputol ni Cherry Tigo yung streak na yon. And Balipure, on the other hand, has dropped 3 straight matches after their parang Cinderella start in this conference. But again, no, they still are in contention, but things are not on their hands anymore. So they have to win all their games and plus hope that some of the upper teams loses.
Yes, and our two teams battling it out today, Mosey. You know, they're in two very different situations, so to speak. That's why we're going to start things off here with the Petro Gazz Angels. As you said, their 3-game winning streak was halted by the Cherry Tigo crossovers. And safe to say, unfortunately for them, that was definitely not their best game.
Oh, yeah. One of their poorest showing in this conference, yung Petro Gazz Angels looked lost against Cherry Tigo. Pero let's comment, Cherry Tigo naman, parang yung mga Giants nagising na finally. And in each of the 2 sets, the crossovers took an early lead, and Petro Gazz was never able to recover. Alam mo, they're always banking on their strong floor defense, but in that match, talagang Cherry Tigo executed service strategy really well, kaya talagang na-shake yung floor defense ng Petro Gazz in that match.
You know, I want to talk to you more about that on ways that the Petro Gazz Angels can be a little bit more unpredictable kasi kailangan nila nababasa na sila ng ibang teams. However, one Gazz Angel who refused to back down, and you know she never backs down rather, was none other than Ces Molina, who had a near triple-double in that game.
She really toyed with the triple-double with 9 points, 10 receptions, and 9 digs in that match against the very tall Cheritigo team. Ces Molina personified Petro Gazz against Cheritigo. She still played hard but found it difficult. Yung adjustments kasi against Cheritigo, pati kasi yung Cheritigo, nag-iba ng laro eh. They also adjusted. That's why nagulat din ng Petro Gazz in that match. But again, yung Petro Gazz still managed balanced effort, having Molina, Pablo, and Ria Meneses score. They're not their usual points, but siguro average na rin in a sense. But they have to play it hard today in today's match if they still want a stronghold on that Final Four spot.
They definitely need to play more consistently and stay focused. They shouldn't let their guard down against Balipure. And speaking of Ces Molina, we had a chat with her a while ago, so let's listen in on that interview.
I think it's a big lesson para sa amin. First, yung mga lapses namin, kailangan pa namin i-improve. And also, dapat mas maging aggressive pa kami, lalo starting sa training para sa game lumabas yun. And yun nga, big lesson to and learning lesson para sa amin na not to relax and also focus kami dapat sa game. Una pa lang, I'm very happy and excited to play with them. Lalo na bago yung mga teammates ko ngayon, new environment, new league, and also new team. And nakaka-excite kasi iba't ibang talents yung nakikita ko dito sa team. And bawat isa nakakapag-contribute kami. And natututunan namin yung ugali ng bawat isa, skills ng bawat isa. And isang natututunan ko din dito is yung mga hindi ko pa kayang gawin na nakikita ko sa mga teammates ko na I can adapt lalo na sa game and pwede ko siya magamit sa mga future games.
Well, Ces Molina for you, and I really like how she said na yung ang dami pa niya kailangan matutunan. Yeah, that's the sign of a good player right there. And they need to be consistent today to get the win before a big match up against Santa Lucia Billy in this match.
Now let's focus our attention on the Balipure Water Defenders, this time Mosey, who are in a very difficult spot right now, suffering their third straight loss at the hands of the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors, who just dominated that match.
Well, yeah, Balipure had a pretty strong start, but still, it was a poor showing. Imagine scoring only 15, 12, and 14 against Santa Lucia on a straight set loss. As you can see here, yung hindi the usual numbers that we see coming from Balipure. We know that they play always with a big heart, pero in their last 3 matches nga, nawawala yung numbers ng mga key players on their side.
And as you said, the 3 key players that were missing or out of sorts, sina Bicar, Flora, and of course their veteran Grace Bombita. Now, they need these players to show up in this game because they have been quiet, as I said a while ago, quiet during their past 3 games.
Well, in the early portion of this tournament, you see them with their pesky defense, and that starts everything for them. So, Bicar was able to set up all these 3 key players, and they were able to produce a lot more. So, if they do that, syempre, that will be a big help. Kasi imagine, Grace Bombita only scoring 4 points, Billy. Diba? Parang nakakagulat din. And 5 points also for Bern Flora na we know that talagang ano rin eh, 'di ba? Point machines.
Totoo naman.
Oo.
Of course, very talented players for the Balipure Water Defenders. And we got the chance to talk to their main setter, Alina Bicar. Let's go ahead and watch that interview. Let's listen in on what she had to say.
For our remaining matches, sinisiguro din naming lumaban pa. Kahit ano mangyari, lalaban pa din kami hanggang sa dulo. For our match ngayon sa Petro Gazz, yun pa din, enjoy lang. Lalaban kami at lalaban hanggang sa dulo.
You know what's important also, Billy, is that they are able to guard the net better because in that game against Santa Lucia, it was 10-4 in blocking. So 4 block points lang ang nagawa ng Balipure.
Right, and with that, Mosey, it's finally time to start this game. So excited to watch the Balipure Water Defenders go up against the Petro Gazz Angels. So we're going to turn it over to our tournament announcer as he introduces the starters of our match.
And let us now meet our national referees for this match. First referee, Erlindo Eusebio. Second referee is Mark Santos. And now the starters. First, for the Balipure Water Defenders. Middle blocker from San Beda University, number 2, Seti Espiritu. Outside spider from Anderson University, number 3, Bruin Flora. Middle blocker from the Far Eastern University, number 4, Chen Kasugon. Opposite hitter from De La Salle University, number 9, Gaira Parroca. Center from the University of Santo Tomas, number 11, team captain Alina Vicar. And outside spider from the University of Nueva Cáceres, number 23, Grace Bombita. Starting libero from FEU, number 1, Carly Hernandez. And the head coach for Balipure is Romel Abella. And now the starters for the Petro Gazz Angels. Center from the National University, number 2, Ivy Perez. Outside spider from San Sebastian College, Recoletos, number 5, Renzel Sontones. Middle blocker from the University of the East, number 6, Seth Rodriguez. Opposite hitter from the Far Eastern University, number 15, Charity Manabayan. Middle blocker from the University of Santo Tomas, number 18, Maria Mendez. Outside spider from the National University, number 19.
We are back and you're still watching the PVL Open Conference game between the Balipure Water Defenders and the Petro Gazz Angels. As you can see on your screens, the starters for Balipure. And I do believe we have Espiritu starting this game, Sati Espiritu. As we head on over to the starters this time of the Petro Gazz Angels, we got Pablo Sotones, Meneses, of course, Kath Arado, Ivy Perez, new addition to the starters, and Malabanan as well as Rodriguez also starting. So in lieu of Rem Palma and Chisait na usually
Yun yung
nagsisimula
nagsistart.
sa
kabila
game nila.
sa kabila naman, si Baroga
Yes.
usually, di ba?
But now they have Sati Espiritu starting for Balipure. It's going to be a very interesting game.
Well, actually, parang narinig din natin si Baroga
Baroga-
starting, ano? So,
yes. Well, let's check again.
yeah.
But at any rate, Mosey, it's going to be a very crucial game for both our teams. Petro Gazz Angels, they want to solidify their placement in the
right.
semifinals. Itong Balipure naghahabol. But the thing about Balipure is, and you know, what's unfortunate is that they have to rely on the other teams ahead of them. At yun yung ayaw mo, syempre.
Yes.
You want to be the master of your own fate, ika nga.
You wanna be in control.
Yes,
Just like
definitely.
yung Petrogas, so far in control. Dahil sila ni Santa Lucia yung talagang toe-to-toe in the standing so far.
As the Balipure Water Defenders, they get point number 1 here in our first set. Let's take a look at that sequence again.
Well, you have to remember, they have to, first and foremost, win all their games. So, they have to start with beating
This one right here.
Petrogas.
But of course, Petro Gazz Angels, they have been pretty solid in this conference since that match against Cherry Tigo, of course.
Ako talaga, from the start, sinasabi ko naman always yan, nalalakasan ako dito sa lineup ng Petrogas.
Very
I
complete
think-
kasi yung
yes.
lineup nila all around.
I think siguro give them a little bit more time together na you know, you keep this team solid.
And that's
I
why we
think-
can't wait
oh.
for what they have to show us, what they have to offer. Maybe in the semifinals, but you know, we were talking about Grace Bombita. She has been pretty silent the past few games, but I think today is the day that she shows up again.
She wanna make some noise siguro in this game. While 4 points in that last outing, now 2 points na yan si Grace Bombita in the
Already half of her output.
the 2 points of Balipure.
So Balipure will have an early lead here. Here comes Gretchen Soltones. They will go to Burn Flora. She is blocked, but yes, she is still blocked, hoping that that was gonna go outside for her, but the point will remain with Petrogas.
Of course, the much improved Ria Meneses on the service line.
And she's been a mainstay, you know, in all our pre-games because we know how much she's improved here in
Wow.
our conference. #1 best blocker here in the Open Conference. Bekar. And that's a net touch violation called on Kasugod.
Sayang yung one-handed set,
Yes.
ni Bekar.
So Balipure here looking like they're playing with a little bit more sense of urgency, which is always a good sign. Nobody there for Petrogas.
And right away, Kasugod making up for that error a while ago.
But it's also good to note, Mosey, in their previous game against Santa Lucia, there was a time that they were leading in that first set, but let that lead go once Santa Lucia stepped on the gas pedal, and that's something that we don't want to happen here.
Well, you know, Billy, at this point of the tournament, a lot of girls are really tired. So a lot of mental plays inside, mental toughness are into play in this mga last games in our elimination.
Of course,
So,
it can't be easy.
Yes, and the coaches know that. That's why siguro important rin na not only your skills, but they also have to relax their minds.
So they just need to loosen up and enjoy this game. 4-3 with Petrogas in the lead. Make that 5-3, 2 points ahead. Jerilee Malabanan. She will serve. They go to Flora out of nowhere. Burn Flora, and that's what they need from her this game.
That's right, a combination play from Balipure, perfectly executed.
And this spike of the set is brought to you by Duncan. Right in the middle of those blockers in front of her, Burn Flora. Great attack. Back to this game. Ball is still alive. Back to Flora. Great dig. And that was Myla Pablo from the back row.
That's why these Petrogas Angels are really lethal because they can attack from in front or even in the back row with Myla Pablo with them. And even Gretchen Soltones.
Gretchen Sultan is so effective on defense as well for the Petrogas Angels. And as a whole, they are a pretty defensively strong team. Another point for them. Let's take a look at that again. Set 1 attack points, 4 for Balipure, 3 for Petrogas, and that it will be a service ace for Gretchen Soltones. Petrogas now up by 4 points as we go to our first technical timeout.
Defenders mentioned to me that they need to adjust in order to master the rhythm of their gameplay. Kinailangan daw nilang ayusin ang kanilang reception para ang kanilang setter na si Alina Bekar ay hindi mapagod maghabol ng bola. Kumpara sa established teams, isang buwan lang sila nag-training kaya mataba ang puso ni Grace nung narinig niyang sabihin ni Eliza Valdez na hindi na-define ng team sa score kung hindi sa paglaban sa sets. Masaya sa respetong nakuha nila from other teams. Let's watch them fight back, the Petrogas Angels.
Thank you so much, Ayi, for that report. Grace Bumbita herself, one of the veterans for this Balipure team.
And that's what we mentioned in our pregame, Billy. Remember, na nawala nga yung pesky defense ng Balipure because they have very able hitters, di ba? Especially they have Bombita with them. So, sayang, ano, pag hindi magaganda yung first balls. And you, just a while ago,
Sa
we
ating
saw
Espiritu.
Hindi, tsaka we saw
Bird
combination
Flora, yes.
play.
So we all know that this team is very capable of going against the big name teams here in our league. It's just a matter of really confidence, no? Mostly confidence, consistency on their end. As you see, Seth Rodriguez will give that point to Balipure. Burn Flora will serve.
Oh, that was well read.
And a chance here. No go. Ivy Perez tried on that one. She will give it to Myla Pablo. Bombita. Nope. Oh, great defense by Petro Gazz. We got a rally going on here. And it is good for Espiritu again. 2 straight points for her. Balipure now at 7, Petrogas at 8, just 1 point.
Well, dun sa interview kay Alina Bicar, she mentioned that mag-enjoy lang sila, di ba, sa game. Gusto nila ibalik yung pag-enjoy. And I think so far, sila yung mas nag-enjoy dito sa match na to.
But don't look now, Seth Rodriguez with that quick attack. They're still in the lead, but it's nice to see Balipure again, as you said, enjoying this game.
Mas relax.
Yes,
hindi-
parang walang tension.
Not so tight, yeah. On the other hand, ito naman Petrogas, they really have to put their thing together. Kasi they're a strong team, but they have to be more organized
Yes.
and more consistent.
They gotta be more cohesive as well and work cohesively as one team. As you saw right there, Grace Bombita looking alive here in our game today. Getting some instructions from Coach Romel Abella. Espiritu doing well so far in our first set. They go to Meneses, great dig.
Oh, that's too much. I would say itong si Bombita, isa sa mga players na maganda yung adjustment pagdating sa attacks. Umiikot yan sa bola. Marunong bumasa ng set, but that time it was just too much for her.
And that's why the point will go to Petrogas, who are clinging on to a 2-point lead. So hindi nagkakalayo yung mga lead ng Petrogas sa set number 1 kontra Balipure. Back set, and she is blocked. They go to Bombita again. That is an attack error, did not go through that net. Straight to the net for Grace Bombita.
Si Bombita kasi when she hits, alam mo yung, she really hits it with all her might. And
Naririnig
itatry
mo.
niya babaon niya talaga yung bola. So, syempre, it also entails a lot of risk, di ba?
Rinig na rinig yung mga, again, right on cue. Rinig na rinig yung mga palo ni Grace Bombita. Hindi lang nakukuha yung tamang timpla minsan.
And siguro yung adjustment rin niya to herself na sometimes kasi hindi naman always perfect yung sets. And also, there are many ways to score naman a point.
Exactly.
So sometimes you also see her, she'll go for off speed.
And that is 3 straight errors for Grace Bombita as Petrogas Angels, the Balipure Water defenders will call a timeout. And you see their coach, Coach Romel, talking to Grace. And you can see, you can hear Jaira as well, calming her teammates down. May halong gigil rin siguro itong ilinalaro nila. You had Billy Capistrano and Mozy Ravenna, and that timeout primarily was for Grace Bombita, who, as I've mentioned, had 3 straight errors.
I think si Salamagos yung pinalitan ni Espiritu, no?
Shirley
to
Salamagos.
Start this game.
You have Ria Meneses on your screens. Jerely Malaban on tall front line for the Petrogas Angels.
Oh, good idea. Poor execution on that last play.
On Kasugod.
Ganda sana eh. Wala talagang tao. But, yun na nga. Poorly executed.
And right now, the Petrogas Angels medyo lumalamang na dito sa Balipure Water Defenders. We see Myla Pablo on
Well,
your
mas
screen.
okay yun kesa sa trash talk.
Totoo naman. A chance here for Petrogas. Gretchen Soltones. No go. They go to Grace Bombita.
Oh, wow.
Finally. She makes up for those 3 errors.
Ganda talaga yung spacing niya when she goes for an attack. Ang layo niya, so she gets the, yung speed and the swing. Kaya most of the time, she'll just hammer it in. Yun, talagang try to, nail it and kill it.
And that was a great attack for her. As we get back to this game, they go to Baroga. Myla.
Oh, no, she's under the ball, not enough spin. Yun
That was a
talaga
scrappy
mangyari.
play as well for Petrogas right there. A chance here for Balipure. They're just 4 points down. What are your thoughts with the way Balipure is playing here in set number 1, Mosey?
Well, so at least it's a better set for them when I'm speaking about their last game, their previous game in general. Although they started this way also against Santa Lucia, but yun lang, it's sustaining and again, bringing back that magic, di ba? Just bring back
They did it already. And I'm
that
sure
Balipure magic, especially
Exactly.
on the floor. Yung I'm talking about their floor defense.
and I'm sure they're able to replicate it, to do it again. They just need more consistency. And Grace Bombita fighting it out, really battling it out for her team. Gretchen Sotones will answer back.
Ito, pareho, medyo on the same level din, the same mold.
Very explosive players, Gretchen Sotones and Grace Bombita from Balipure. Her team down by 6 points as we go to our second technical timeout.
Guys, energy tayo!
Back here in the PVL Open Conference. And you can see on the screens, the spike of the set is brought to you by none other than Duncan Gretchen Soltones, the Lady Beast. With that wonderful attack, her team is leading in set number 1, 16-10. Myla Pablo will serve, currently has 2 points. And straight to the net it goes. Puntos para sa Balipure.
Now, Grace Bombita at the back row. Let's see how Petrogas will capitalize on this position. But first, she gives a free point.
That is way
to
off.
them.
Way off for Grace Bombita. Way too strong. So, nagpalitan lang ng service errors ang Petrogas Angels and Balipure Water Defenders. This time, Ria Meneses will serve. Good serve.
Oh, nicely done. Perfect timing. Kasugod getting that point.
There at the right time.
Yun nga, that's really the point. When they get good first balls, ang daming pwedeng attacks na gawin nitong Balipure, and they have really hard-hitting spikers on their side.
And that sails outside. A little bit off for Gretchen Soltones.
Si Gretchen Soltones, you're talking about it, parang pareho sila ni Bombita, mga risk takers. Ibabaon talaga yung walang pigil-pigil and bihira yung mga placement shots. But this time, risked it too much wide on that try.
And gives that point to Balipure. Down by 4 points. Flora. Tinaas ni Perez. Back to Gretchen Soltones. Better this time, but good defense from Balipure. Back to Flora.
Oh,
And that was Jerely Malabanan.
and good decision there, Ivy Perez. Setting up Malabanan kasi naiwan yung middle blocker.
And good for Jerely seeing more playing time for the Petrogas Angels. Quality minutes for her. Babad siya dito sa ating set number 1 and she will serve 18 serving 13. And the service errors Mosey in set number 1. A little too much.
Actually, palitan lang sila
A little too much for both our
errors.
squads.
Yeah.
Coach Arnold Lanyog definitely not happy with that one. Chisaet comes in. Also, Mayan Mendres
Well, I guess
and Lai
Coach
Bendong.
Coach Arnold also wants a full front line going towards the end of the set.
Baleton will also join her teammates for the Balipure Water Defenders. And we have Bendong.
Ganun din ang ginawa ni Coach John.
So parehas lang sila
Oh,
ng
na full front
strategy.
line. Oh,
And
but
again,
oh,
the service errors proving to be a hindrance for both our teams here in our set number 1. We're at 19 serving 14. Gretchen Soltones will serve for Petrogas. Flora. They go to Myla. Great dig. A little off there, but the ball is still alive. Back to Myla. She is blocked at the net. And Sati Espiritu cannot contain her happiness. Siyempre, Myla Pablo yan.
ang ganda pa naman ng pagkaka-block niya where she returned that ball. Nobody
Yes.
was there, and even close. Not one player from Petrogas.
And that's the kind of celebration that we want to see from our players, clearly having fun in this game. Gretchen from the back. That is an attack error. And Petrogas this time will call a timeout as we take a look at that again. And sabi mo nga, Gretchen, Soltones, and Grace Bombita, they really gotta be careful with those attack errors because they are risk takers, as you said. Billy Capistrano with Mosey Ravenna. We'll try to listen in on the timeout if we can get something, pero natapos na ata.
We
Pero
knock
natapos
outan
na.
ka ni Coach Arnold.
I think that was just a situational timeout and wherein Coach Arnold just wanted to let everyone just calm down for a little bit
And,
and
you
stop
know,
the bleeding. I mean, stop the lead.
also, Billy, when you look at the teams now, because nga we have a different, we say different nga yung situation now because they're in a bubble, tapos sunod-sunod yung games, yung ganyan. Even yung mga discarded ng coaches, different din. You can see na, let's say, now, you see, ginagamit nila more or less, no, yung bench nila. Si Kat Arado, palit-palit rin sila ni Inglaterra, di ba? Before, usually
just
you
her.
would see only Kat. Even yesterday, I saw in the Cream Lines game, si Ella De Jesus is also in a libero uniform. So, alam mo yun, yung
It
iba rin yung
differs.
discard ng mga coaches natin, especially going towards nga the end of this tournament.
It's time for them to experiment on what works for their teams.
And also yun nga yung reading yung weaknesses nila and
Yes.
yung strengths nila and what's left and what's working.
And you always want to shake things up and not be too predictable for the other teams to study you talaga coming into the next games. But don't look now. The Balipure Water Defenders on a roll here. They're down by 2 points, but we see that fire in them. And again, the blocking of Balipure.
Which was missing against their game against Santa Lucia. They only had 4 block points in that match.
So obviously that's something that they worked on, and it is showing here in this game. Grace Bombita, a totally different person from who she was in that game against Santa Lucia.
And you don't give her that kind of a gift.
Look at that. Catharado tried, but was too slow for Grace Bombita. So explosive. Balipure now just down by 1 point against Petrogas, but the service errors just haunting Balipure right now.
And just when they get a little bit of momentum,
It goes to a complete stop. As you see, Rempalma on your screens, watching her teammates. Ivy Perez this time will serve.
ito pa yung what's going with the Petrogas Angels. Malalim din ang bench nila eh. They still have a lot of players who can actually contribute.
Definitely off the bench. Even Jessie De Leon, the last time off the bench, had a couple of points. And luckily, a service ace for the Petrogas Angels. Balipure will call a timeout. They are 3 points down here in our set number 1. For those who just tuned in, it's Balipure against Petrogas. And quite an enjoyable match for set number 1.
Well, at least you can see yung Balipure. They're more aggressive in this
Definitely.
match. Parang you feel na yung gusto nila talagang bumawi. And on the other hand, siguro yung Petrogas din, they also have that sense of urgency na talagang give a tighter grip on that final 4 spot. Kasi sabi nga natin, medyo ano pa sila na Santa Lucia, nag-aagawan pa sila dun sa spot, sa final, yung number 4 spot.
It's definitely not theirs yet.
Oh, yeah.
But if they continue to play like this, then it might just fall into their lap. Let's take a look at that. Myla Pablo, single coverage block for her.
And look at her redirect that ball. Yan talaga pag nagbo-block, hindi lang basta kailangan na to stop the ball, but you also want to put it where nobody's home. Yung kailangan mindful yung blockers kasi sayang lang if babalik mo tapos makukuha lang din. So you turn that defense into some sort of attack.
And that was definitely effective for Myla Pablo. And right now, they're at set point. Bombita. Not yet. Sabi niya sa Petrogas, not yet. We're 4 points down. They keep fighting till the end.
And you like that fight. I mean, if you look at it, Petrogas just needs 1 more point to close out this set. But Bombita, with all her might, just stopping that.
Making every single point count for them. Alina Becar will serve against Petrogas at set point. Here comes Becar. Perez to Meneses. Ria Meneses will end set number 1 in favor of her team, the Petrogas Angels. Both teams look fired up. As we take a little break, we'll talk about what happened in this set later on. This is a PVL Open Conference only here on One Sports. We are back and you're still watching the Premier Volleyball League Open Conference only here on One Sports. Game between the Balipure Water Defenders and the Petrogas Angels. Crucial game for both our teams. And the Angels got away with set number 1. Amazing performance from them. Balipure tried, but it was really the service errors that got them in the end.
Well, just too much in that single set. But you feel naman that they're very aggressive. Somehow that floor defense was back. That's why sila Bombita was really able to score in even kasugod. But Ivy Perez took care of the setting in this first set and was able to set up her teammates. Chisayat was inside for a while, but it was almost Ivy Perez on that first set. And this ended with that quick hit of Ria Meneses. As you can see, even with less attack points, Petrogas was able to win that set because look at the unforced errors of Balipure. Kanina pa natin binabanggit niyan, Billy. But I like that they already have 3 blocks in that first set. While service aces, ang dami nang ang service, tawag dito, miscues on the side of Balipure. Tas may +3 service aces pa dito sa Petrogas. That's why they were able to win that first set despite nga having less attack points.
And I think that's the number they gotta watch out for. 10 unforced errors for the water defenders, and something that they cannot do here in this game. They can't do that again in this game if they want to win it against the Petrogas Angels.
Well, Billy, also for the benefit of our fans, no, we have, I will discuss siguro yung Final Four rule natin for this conference because it's a little different. Because this conference, we will not have any playoff games. So if 2 teams are tied, that number, syempre una mo na win-loss record. But if 2 teams are tied, for example, in number 4, no playoff. So we will have a winner over the other rule. And sa semis, again, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, both in the best of 3. Winners will play best of 3 finals, while the losers, again, will also play for third. So again, if there will be ties between 3 or more teams qualifying for Final Four, quotient system will be applied. Again, no playoff games this conference.
So there, that is the rules that we are following here in our open conference. We're gonna rely on the quotient system. But there will be no playoffs, so in case any any teams would tie for a certain spot, we're definitely no playoff.
Kumbaga, we're not using the FIBA
Right.
rule this conference.
So there.
Meneses and Pablo, 3 points already in this match, but Bombita, 7 points already, Espiritu with 3.
Bombita more than doubled her output in the previous game, and good to see her back on track as we head on here for our second set. And that is point number 2 for the Petrogas Angels. What can you expect from Ria Meneses? You know, every single game, Ozzy, she just really shows up.
And what you like about her is that nakita mo ngayon yung effort sa kanya, no? And, Billy, yung blocking kasi, ano yan eh, effort. Parang siguro 70% effort, lalo na if you're a middle blocker. Because you have to go right and left and even guard the middle. You know, ikaw yung pinaka nagtatrabaho dyan sa harap. So, kung hindi ka ma-effort na middle blocker, maiiwan ka palagi. So, in this conference, we saw a faster Ria Meneses, a smarter Ria Meneses, and even a better Ria Meneses on offense.
So really happy for her. That growth over, the break, that quote-unquote break that we all had was just great. It was amazing. And she is at her peak, right? She is at her peak here in this conference, and good for her and her team who are leading in this game. One set. They won set number 1, currently up by just 1 point. Chance here for Balipure. Espiritu.
Once again on that quick hit.
And Sati Espiritu, she started this game and she's just playing so well as well. Look at that. What a quick hit from her. Too much for Petrogas. And this spike of the set is brought to you by Duncan.
You know, you just love the energy, and plus you see also that it helps her game, diba?
And gives her that confidence. And that is a point for Gretchel Soltones from the Petrogas Angels.
Combination play, but Balipure read that well. There were 2 blockers already, but Gretchel Soltones, knowing na si Alina Bicar kasi yung isang blocker, is still able to get that point.
Burn Flora will try. We have Rika Enclona.
Oh, nicely done. What a spot. Ang ganda naman nun.
Let's take a look at that again, that replay. And another spike. This spike of the set is brought to you by Duncan.
Very deserving.
Very deserving. Jerry Lee Malabanan. Also starting the second set. Sultanes. And that is an ace for Sultanes.
Remember, they already had 3 in the first set that really helped them. Especially, yun nga, napakadaming service errors ng Balipure.
Sultanes, the 5th best server here in our league.
Has 3 aces.
Aangat pa sa ranking si Gretchel.
3 aces so far, and we are just in set number 2.
She has 5 points right now. Biglang nag-change. Updated.
Ako yung sumulat.
So Gretch will serve again. Let's see if she makes this one too. Almost? Yes! It is 3 straight service aces for the Lady Beast. And that will put us to our first technical timeout of that second set. The PVL will be right back. Billy Capistrano with Mosey Ravenna. You're watching the PVL Open Conference right here on One Sports. And Sultanes now with 3 straight service aces. You heard that, right? 3 service aces. And
Di
take
ba
a look.
4? Parang with that last one, kasi 3 na kanina, 4
4.
na. 4 of
Total.
the 6.
Total of 4 service aces for Sultanes.
And I always say this, it's important when you have a good server on the line, the opponent should be mindful to get the points para makarotate na kagad, mapalitan yung server. Kailangan, naiisip ng opponent.
Petrogas now at 8. Balipure at 4. Great blocking by Balipure. They will go to Malabanan. And that will go to the Petrogas Angels.
That was just too much for Grace Bombita. She likes it medyo over naman talaga yung mahabang set. But this was just too much for her. And it was close to the antenna already. May blockers pa doon. Parang lahat na. Nag-challenge na dun eh.
And that's why the point went to the Petrogas Angels. This time she will try, but that will go to the Angels again.
I think that also hit the antenna right there because nga she likes yung sets na long.
So another error for
That
Bombita.
hit the net and then went outside.
So that is outside. 10 serving 4.
Ooh.
Another service ace for Petrogas. They are on a roll with their aces here in our game. 11-4 is our score. Balipure trailing behind the Gazz Angels. Billy Capistrano with Mosey Ravenna. And they are having some problems with their receive, Mosey. Quite clearly, and the amount of aces that the Petrogas Angels, have had here in our second set. And it's the same problem they had with Santa Lucia as well.
Yes, more on digs with Santa Lucia. Yung receives nila, okay naman. Yung reception nila. But in this match, yung reception naman ng erroneous on the side of Balipure.
And that's why Coach Romel not pleased, not satisfied with how they're playing here in the second set. It's a big shift from the energy that they had in that first set. And the woes continue for Balipure, a service error. Kanina si Espiritu, ngiting-ngiti pa ngayon. Mukhang medyo na-frustrate na yung Balipure.
Nagiging viral na yung
Nanggigigil na
service
sila.
error. Oh.
But things going right for Petrogas as Ivy Perez will serve, 12 serving 5. Good serve. Great blocking.
Service errors, Billy. 4 for Balipure, 5 for Petrogas. Talaga ba? It looked like parang mas marami si Balipure, no?
At any rate, Petrogas still in the lead, and it's a pretty big margin here in set number 2. They are leading this game.
And I like how Ivy Perez is taking control of the team because you know why, ngayon, may ano na rin sila, kahit sinong ilagay mo to the other teams, alam mong threat si Ivy, alam mo rin threat si Chico. Si Chico, alam mo ng threat siya eh.
Matagal na
Given
alam.
na yan eh, given na, diba? But now you see a better Ivy Perez in this match. Again, no, going towards siguro the final 4. Babantayan na rin siya, di ba? Magiging iba na yung sa scouting report.
Coach Arnold Lanyog preparing all his players for the battle that'll happen, hopefully for them in the semifinals.
And for Petrogas, you really want that momentum, especially going towards the next games.
They are up against Santa Lucia,
Yes.
and that is going to be a very, very exciting match. So everybody better watch out for that game. Ces Molina, who has been quiet in set number 1, scores her first point here.
That's off a combination play.
Great dig by Enclona, also seeing some action, good for her.
She has been very active
Yes.
in this match.
And again, yung sabi mo nga nakakatakot itong Petrogas Angels because all their players can really shine. At any given moment, someone can step up.
Hindi pa natin nakikita si Rem Palma. Di ba? Nandyan din na si Jessie. Hindi pa natin nakikita.
14-7 is our score. And that is a point for the Balipure Water defenders. You got Jen Kasugod on your screens. Ces Molina, Jerily Malabanan. A service error again for Balipure. Ria Meneses, best blocker in the league. She will serve, 15 serving 8. Good serve. Bicar to Kasugod. No go. And that is off the hands of Bombita as we go to our second technical timeout of set number 2.
Jessie, ready, Jessie ah. Wala, para ba po? Diretso na, diretso na. Wala yung pinuto sa atin kanina.
Things not looking too good for the Balipure Water defenders. You have Gretchen Soltones on your screens, Jaira Baroga, Seth Rodriguez. Petrogas still leading, 16-8. Here comes Kasugod. Look at the attack points. 3 for Balipure, 7 for Petrogas.
Called out. Sayang yun.
And that is
was close,
outside
yeah.
for Balipure. Very upset, Coach Romel Abella.
Si John Abella. Alam mo, in this match, I just noticed, maisingit ko lang, maraming UST coaches.
Go ahead.
John Abella, assistant niya si Clarence Esteban is also UST coach. At sa kabila, Yanni Fernandez also there.
The Tigers are present in Baccarat.
Arr.
And Jaira Baraga.
May magkakampi, may magkalaban. So strategy, tignan natin. Because some of them are also their players before, diba?
You see the mix of players.
Zaira is a high school player before from UST
UST.
who played under Coach Yanni.
As we get back to this game, you see Gretchel Soltones again. Block points, 2 for Balipure, 1 for Petrogas. Let's take a look at that sequence.
Rachel Sultan is just challenging the blockers and saying na, teka, malakas pa palo ko. Kahit gumanda depensa ko, malakas pa rin.
Just gets it through.
And I also like how Coach Arnold has been putting his players, para shuffling them inside. Kung parang iniba niya, but still will put Chiside in. You have Mendres also coming in. Yung binibigyan niya pa rin ng time inside.
Again, Coach Arnold Lanyog really trying to spice things up heading into the semifinals. As Lai Bendong will serve. Ten serving 18. See the excellent receptions, 15 for Balipure, 18 for Petrogas. Error for Mean Mendres, they just brush it off.
You know, Mayan Mendres, when you see her, because probably she's thin, but she's a 5'10" hitter.
She's very
Yeah,
tall.
she's a 5'10" opposite hitter.
Jerry Lee from the back.
Actually, ano siya pwedeng open, pwedeng opposite.
And take a look at the digs, 19 for Balipure and Petrogas 25, if I read that properly. Let's take a look at Jerry Lee first, but that block, Sati Espiritu. Finally, she got that smile on her face again. Another service error for Balipure.
Just giving Petrogas a lot of freebies in this match.
$19 serving 12. And look at the block points as well, Muzi. 4 for Petrogas, 6 for Balipure.
That's right. So, yung Balipure actually in this game, if you see the numbers, okay naman sila. They're playing well. It's just that the errors are just killing them. They'll have their momentum, the little runs, pero pag, service error. So, you know, you just give back that momentum to the opponent. Here in this case, Petrogas.
Parang hindi nila masustain yung energy, o sabi mo nga yung momentum. Tignan natin yun ulit. Grace Bombita for the attack. And that goes outside. This is a PVL Open Conference, the first pro league in the Philippines, first pro volleyball league. Let's get back to this game. Balipure against the Petrogas Angels. That is outside for Jerely Malabanan.
A good read by Bern Flora, letting that ball go.
Balipure now 4 points down. This is our second set. Petrogas won that previous one. She saw it back to Jerry Lee, and she is denied at the net. Blocking looks real good for Balipure this game.
This time, nag-adjust yung blockers ng Balipure. Look at them. Just, si Baliton, pinantayan na yung down the line. Able to get that point.
Says Molina on your screens. She will make another appearance for Petro Gazz. They cut the lead down to 3 points. Bernflora serving. 4 block points for Balipure right now. Great dig. They go to Bombita, challenging the blockers of the Petro Gazz Angels.
And they go to Bombita. Why not? You can go to her all day long.
That was a beautiful attack from Grace Bombita.
And that's the second time using the other blocker for that off the block hit.
Another block defense at the net is good for Balipure here in our second set. And don't look now, they are just 1 point behind the Petro Gazz Angels. And unfortunately for the Gazz Angels, they let that lead go.
Right, that was a huge lead.
That was a pretty big lead, and Balipure inisa-isa yung puntos.
Patience ang nangyari doon. And Balipure was able to make it both in offense and defense. Eventually, when they got their game going.
And now here we are. We are tied at 19. The Balipure Water Defenders just did that. And that's why we know they're capable of doing that.
And that's the usual Balipure nga that we see play with big hearts. And yan, ganyan. They celebrate each point.
And here, Petro Gazz much needed timeout from their end. And the saying holds true for Balipure, slowly but surely. You know, it did not happen with consistent attacks or consistent points.
And they were just,
Paunti-unti,
again,
yes.
enjoy lang nila yung game. And when they got their game going, kasi pareho both in blocking and yung attack points rin. Si Bombita was at their usual self. But ito, paulit-ulit natin sinasabi, sayang talaga sometimes yung little momentum that
Right.
they have. Ito, ang laki na ng momentum.
Natawa na nga daw si Bernflora nang nangyari yun, di ba?
Shot themselves on the foot again.
And I was gonna say that they did that despite the service errors and the number of errors that they would have. Pero yun nga, hindi madali na gawin. And they can't keep doing that because it's gonna be a lot harder down the stretch.
The architect inside.
Yes, Jessie De Leon joins her teammates. Myla will give Balipure a free ball. They go to Grace Bombita, and that is inside, finding that corner, and she ties this game.
Bombita will just really slug it in. Just hit
Look
that
at-
ball hardest as she can, and that was just a perfect
It was
spot.
perfect. Finding that corner, and Judith Abel with a new hairdo. Ngayon ko lang napansin yan.
The queen herself on the service line.
May salon ata si Judith sa loob ng bubble.
Ay, importante yung mga dala sa loob ng bubble. Kailangan pinag-iisipan ng mabuti.
As we get back to this game, 20 all. Gretchen Soltones from the back row. That is a net touch violation by Jen Kasugod.
Double whammy naman pala. And Petro Gazz with a 1-point lead against the pesky Balipure who will not go away.
They're not letting go, not yet. Especially here in this game, a must-win game for them. Rika Inclona puts it up. They will go to Myla Pablo, who has been pretty silent. Perez to Pablo. And that's another net touch violation. 2 in a row for Balipure. This time from Baliton. The other time it was from Jen Kasugod.
It's just frustrating. But let's look at this combination play, Myla Pablo. Hinanap mo yung ingay niya. There she goes.
That's why she's here. She heard what we were saying a while back. 2 points na ang lamang ng Petrogas Angels. It's been a back and forth affair for both our teams. And if Balipure wants to secure the second set, they need to focus more than anything. They need to avoid those errors that have just been piling up for them since the first set.
That's right. And sayang, no? Medyo mahaba na yung stretch ng momentum nila nung they were making that huge run. And then, Burnt Flora with that service error. Kind of, parang ano eh.
And it just started from there.
Sa Tagalog, binuhusan ng tubig. Diba?
And how unfortunate, because it's nobody's fault but yours. And that's something they need to correct if they want to win this game. Oh, great effort. Great effort by Balipure. Here comes Myla Pablo again. They will go to Grace Bombita. Too much.
And you can just hear somebody shouting right before that Grace Bombita hit. Alam na eh.
Look at Grace. You know, she's just been fighting it out for her team here.
And look at her form. You can feel yung energy niya. Ganun naman dapat. From the legs.
Exactly.
Tapos core.
Malakas
and then,
talaga.
Ganun siya kalakas. Nagagaling din yung power dun sa legs. Tapos sa core. Tsaka din sa hit niya.
So athletic.
Oh,
what happened there, Mosey?
Finally, an ace coming from Balipure. And what a time for it to come, Vicar.
Vicar ties his game again, 22-all. Currently, she has 13 excellent sets.
She actually has 3 more excellent sets than Ivy Perez.
So far, very efficient in
oh.
this game. But Ces Molina, other plans for her. Try to wake up her team.
Alam ko na yung gusto ko sabihin, pamatay sunog.
Ayan. Ces Molina naman yung pamatay sunog sa Balipure.
Right.
Sa ginawa niyang yon, they are now up again by 1 point. Myla Pablo. Kasugod, great defense. They go to Molina. Smart move by Ces Molina.
Right, making it easier, just wiping it off the blockers.
And she's carrying Petrogas on her back here at the tail end of our second set. They are at set point. Balipure needs to come up with something fast here. Myla Pablo with 3 points. She will serve 24, serving 22. And a service error for Typhoon Pablo will put Balipure just 1 point down, 1 point behind.
Dito naman sa Petrogas, what a time for a service error to be committed, diba? Giving a free point to Balipures now at 23 against their 24.
Bird Flora.
Oh! Balipure!
They are not going down without a fight.
That's right. And this is the usual.
And this is what we want to see from them.
The magic is back. Burn Flora getting it through in between those 2 blockers.
Grace Bombita with 13 points already in this game. Great save, great dig right there. Bird Flora again. Tinaas ni Arado. They go to Gretchen Soltones. Now these 2 teams are really slugging it out here. Myla Pablo. They're gonna chase it. It's still alive.
Angeles just keeping it alive.
And wow, look at that. Great effort. They go to Meneses again. Ria Meneses.
Well, Petrogas,
They're still alive.
they had the right thing in mind. Well, everybody else is just not yet ready for defense. They go for a slide.
Ria
Ria Meneses
Meneses.
on that running.
What can you expect from Ria Meneses? You know, she always does that, right? At the right time also.
Yung sa nakakainis na time.
And right there, a good defense being shown by Balipure. Bird Flora, she is blocked. And that is it for the Petrogas Angels. But you know, Mosey, we gotta commend the Balipure Water Defenders. They worked hard for every single point that they had here in set number 2. as we take a look at the final score for set 2. 26 for Petro Gazz, 24 for Balipure. The PVL Open Conference will be right back. What a set number 2 we just had. Both teams just giving it their all. But, you know, Petro Gazz, Angels, Mosey, they came up really big in that set. Pero sabi ko nga kanina, we gotta commend the effort of the Balipure water defenders. They started out a little bit slow also in that middle part of the set, but did they bounce back or what in the tail end of our set?
Well, I know where you're coming from because we really thought that Petrogas was going to run away with that second set. But, you know, in the mid-portion of that set, Balipure, with a lot of patience, was just inching their way up. And then finally nga, nag-extend pa yung set natin. We needed an extension because Balipure was just making their hits and having their happy block points. And everything working well for them, pero crucial nga, they had a service error. And on the side naman of Petrogas, they had the service, actually Petrogas din nag-service error. But as you look at the numbers, 10 attack points for Balipure, just one more for Petrogas sa blocking. Tignan mo, lamang na lamang pa nga yung Balipure. And service aces, bumawi dun yung Petrogas. And unforced errors, almost the same with Balipure having, water defenders having one more. But that's why it was a close one.
Right.
Even from here, you can see it was a close set.
And it was a very exciting set, I'm sure, for all our fans watching. I mean, this is the kind of volleyball that you wanna see and you wanna watch. And we expect nothing less from both our teams. I said it once, I'll say it again. You know, Balipure, they can go up against the big name teams in our league.
And plus, Billy, I even said in my interview nga, even the teams that are not in contention, for sure, they will still give us
Yes.
quality games because 1.5 years of no volleyball for them. So, tapos na ngayon, we have a stage for them to show syempre what they were practicing. Siguro yung new team or new teammates, all of that together. I'm sure they would just love to entertain all of us with good games, good quality games.
And so far, the games that we've been having have been top-notch here in the PVL as we start our third set. Balipure Water Defenders versus the Petro Gazz Angels. The first point will go to Balipure.
Well, so far, Meneses with 6 points, Sultanes with 8, Bombita with 13 already, Espiritu with 7.
So those are our top performers so far in our game today. And good for Grace Bombita, who is playing much better than she did in their previous 3 games. She's been quite silent in her previous games. You see,
Kasugod
yes,
easily with that power tip. Parang dinonk lang yung bola.
effortless for Jen Kasugod, also playing well in this game today. They go to Perez. Flora from the back row, good dig. Malabanan. Another good dig for Balipure.
Angeles is just all over the place.
And Balipure with an early lead here in our set number 3, 3-0 so far. And look at Angeles diving for that ball. Grace Bombita off that block. Ball is still alive. Let's take a look at the digs right now. 34 for Balipure and Petro Gazz has 37. And Jerely Malabanan stepping up in this game against Balipure.
Yes, that mean down the line hit. Ang lakas eh, di ba? Pag down the line.
And you can really see her more confident, Mosey, talking
Yeah.
about Jerry Lee compared to her college. Medyo mahihain kasi
Yeah.
siya. You really see that, about her. She can be very shy, but now she is more confident with the way she moves, her attacks as well.
Kas Kasugod. Talking about
Talking about confidence.
Yeah.
Jen Kasugod.
Taking that last point. In one of her interviews, parang she nga said she's embracing the role of being the ate here in Balipure. Imagine, parang si Kasugod, we were calling her games in college. Ngayon siya ni ate dito in a pro league.
But syempre, she'll provide that guidance to her young teammates
true.
as well. And she's been very steady in the front line for Balipure.
And you can see that Balipure is not losing any amount of energy from set
Right.
1 up to now. While on the other side naman, Petro Gazz a little bit more serious. Yung Petro Gazz kasi also, they have to look ahead. No? Not only in this game, but they also have to look dun sa mga succeeding games nila. That's why I think to me, it's a more important match for
Exactly,
them.
yes. There might be more pressure on the side of
True,
the Petrogas
same.
Angels compared to the Balipure Water Defenders. You're with me, Billy Capistrano and Mosey Ravena. And this is proving to be a very enjoyable match for everybody. You have the Petrogas Angels now behind the Balipure Water Defenders. They're down by 5 points. So things are a bit different here in our third set, starting off a bit differently compared to our past 2 sets where we saw Petrogas with a lead early on. Saka lang makakahabol itong Balipure, but looks like Balipure has other plans for this third set. They're taking control here in the early parts of this one. And you see Gretchen Soltones on your screens, Jara Baroga, we got Kasugod and Alina Becar, their setter. Jerry Malabanan here too. Bombita will serve. Good serve. And they still have Ivy Perez as their main playmaker.
Right. Coach Arnold Lanyo giving the responsibility
Yes.
to Ivy
A
Perez.
very big
Yeah.
responsibility in a big game like this. Again, we were saying that it's to prepare the other players if they do reach the semifinals, and we all know that they have a big shot at it. Alina Becar had the team captain having a word with our referee. Here comes Ria Meneses. They're down by 4 points. She will serve. Bird Flora.
Another point for Balipure.
It's going to be an error called on Jessie De Leon. A ball still alive for Petrogas.
Oh, nicely done. Myla Pablo getting to that corner. Just with an off speed and well-directed. Yun yung kailangan yung volleyball players. You always have yung yung vision mo, yung sight of where the defenders are. So more or less, you know where to put that ball. So even with an off-speed hit, diba, kaya-kaya mo kasi i-direct yun eh.
Right. So hindi lang
So it's
palo
just
ng palo
placement.
talaga.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kailangan you always see the other side of the court.
You have to have a good court sense at all times, as Gretchen Soltones definitely does have good court sense.
Knowing where the blockers were.
Yes, with that point.
Oh, that was still out.
That was definitely too strong for Jerry Malabanan. We're going to go to our first technical timeout of our third set. Balipure leads 8-4. We are back and you're still watching the 2021 Premier Volleyball Open Conference here. Volleyball League Open Conference, of course, live in Bacara, Ilocos Norte.
Ano kaya? Ano kaya pinagtatawa ni Lola? Chismisin nyo nga kami dito ni Belly.
Of course, Balipure very happy because they're holding on to a 4-point lead against the Petrogas Angels. Billy Capistrano with Mosey Ravena, Jessie De Leon on your screens, Jaira Baroga as well, and she will serve for Balipure. Let's take a look at the attack points. 5 now for Balipure and 3 for Petrogas.
Better setups kasi coming on Balipure side. That's why they have more attack points.
And that is a service error for Jaira Baroga.
Something that you don't want when you're up by 3.
Because-
Actually, 4 nga yan. You gave away 1. That's what happened in the first set.
Yes. It was the service errors that really plagued Balipure, but hopefully now, you know, they have that system going on and they're more assured of themselves and what to do to bounce back as we take a look at Sati Espiritu.
Only 1 blocker there. So Sati was able to put that ball where she wanted it.
Oh, and again, back-to-back points by Sati Espiritu. And she is loving that. You can hear her scream.
That deserves a second look.
Look at that quick hit by Sati Espiritu.
And again, only 1 blocker for Sati. So, won't expect them to go to her kung ganun lang din ibibigay, no? Kung pa isa-isang blocker lang din.
And Myla Pablo answers back with an attack of her own.
They really need the points coming from Myla Pablo.
And this spike of the set is brought to you by none other than Duncan, care of Myla Pablo for the Petrogas Angels.
Especially now that they're down by 4.
We got Jessie De Leon serving. Other sports, badminton.
Oh, ang dami, actually, ang dami. And she gets an ace.
And she gets an ace. Jessie is, of course, an architect.
Yung badminton kasi, yung footwork niya is almost the same. May konting baliktad
Right.
lang, but it's almost the same.
You gotta be quick on your feet as well.
And ganun din, you just have a racket. Yun lang yung difference.
She will try again. And Grace Bombita. Nandun si Soltones. Back to Myla. Becar back to Bombita. And they will go to Myla Pablo.
There you go, a better hit on the second try. Myla Pablo
and
getting
she's
that
taking
last
charge.
point. Yeah, which is
She's
parang
taking charge.
dapat talaga.
Look at that. Through the blockers.
Especially they're down in this set. Na a set they need to close this out and rest, di ba?
They need all the rest they can get. Petrogas Angels will be facing the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors in 2 days. Ivy Perez will give it to Myla. And that is outside for Myla Pablo. Sati Espiritu, big plays from her in this game. And she will serve for Balipure.
Oh, and another service error. Napansin ko yung si Sadi, kanina rin may service error siya because I think she wants a short ball. Yung just right across, yung ano lang ng net, no, before the attack line, yung mga ganong type of serves. Maiksi.
The blocker, Ria Meneses. I'm not sure if you guys saw that one. Let's take a look at it again. Nope, not today, said Ria. With a mini stare down.
Ano nagpigil. Nandun napigilan.
It was
but
cut short.
Ivy Perez throwing that away and ito palitan, giving each other freebies.
So what happened during Balipure in that second set nangyayari ngayon sa Petrogas Angels? their momentum, getting stopped by
Yep.
those unwanted service errors and those errors in general. Ivy Perez to Myla Pablo. And that is way off for Myla.
Oh, another service error from Balipure.
Straight to the net for Alina Becar. They will give the chance here to Petro Gazz, who has been struggling to regain that lead here in our third set. 11 serving 13.
Oh, the
Grace from
blockers were
Vita.
there, but the power was just too much. Nabasa naman ng Petro Gazz eh.
And that was a great attack, great play as well. 14 serving 11. This is our third set. Petro Gazz has 2 sets already. Chance here. They go to Gretchen Soltones.
And Saltones, variation on that attack. Just swiping it off. Going for that power tip. Using the blocker to get that point.
The
It's
Gazz.
been an exciting 3 sets.
It really
no,
has.
Really?
And it went by quick but not really. Parang enjoyable kasi talaga siya panoorin, and you can see that both of these teams are giving it their all.
Yeah, and despite Balipure being down by 2 sets, you can see clearly that they really want to
Yes,
get this one to stay
definitely.
on in this match.
And that's the fight that, that we've been waiting from them.
Nawala nga in their last 3 games.
Exactly.
Oh, nicely done.
And again, right on time. Speaking of fight, we got Jen Kasugod not giving up. She's been so effective today for Balipure, and we were talking about, the blocking and the middles of Balipure, who are also missing in the past few games. Well, here she is, alive and kicking.
Kung sa Olympics pa. Fantastic.
Let's take a look at the service aces. 2 for Petro Gazz, none so far for Balipure. Gretchen Soltones hammers it through.
Don't care if there's 2 blockers in front of her. Look at Gretchen. Go for this one. Bawal mahuli. Don't give her that window of opportunity. Ito yung iniintay ko na. I was pretty sure magpapalit ng setter para na maiba yung diskarte. And obviously, to have 3 hitters in front also.
Let's see how Chisaet will turn things around for the Gas Angels.
Oh, again, Angeles diving for that one.
That is an error. That is a 2-touch violation called on Alina Becar. We are now at 15 all. Nagpantay na din ang score ng ating mga koponan. Becar will go to Espiritu again.
See, if they really have good first balls,
Everything else will follow.
Yeah.
So Balipure now still with the lead, 16-15 as we go to our second technical timeout. Back here in the Premier Volleyball League Open Conference, live in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. Game between the Balipure Water Defenders and Petrogas Angels. And you saw on your screens Julia Angeles. Tremendous job for her.
Yes!
Manning the defense of Balipure today, just diving for that ball.
Kala ko nga si Don Macandili eh. Ikaw naman, kakasabi ko error. No, but it's really been...
She's been really good this game. And when you have
helping
good,
out a lot, especially ngayong setup.
yes, definitely, because when you have good defense, everything else also will
Yeah.
follow. It starts with good defense, and then the offense will follow, getting everyone, you know, involved as well.
And plus nga, they have very able hitters in Flora,
Correct.
and Bombita, and Kasugod.
And Burn Flora, let's take a look at her. Off the hands of Myla Pablo. Nagpipigil pa ng ngiti. And Balipure now again with the lead 17-16.
Sometimes when you're a young volleyball player, tapos yung ang ganda ng palo mo, pero pagkita mo sa harap mo yung mga veteran players, hindi mo rin makuha
Nakakahiya.
so much.
Parang wala kang karapatan. But we all know Burn Flora, you know,
Yeah.
her stare downs also in the UAAP.
Kaya pagtingin niya, Ate Myla yun.
But I'm pretty sure our veterans also know that it's part of the game.
Sometimes.
And after it, friends naman silang lahat. Everyone enjoying this game. Unfortunately, again, for Grace Bombita, one of her the errors, attack errors, kasi medyo madami rin tayong nakitang attack errors from her in that first set. Hopefully, it won't happen again here for her in our third set.
Not enough spin on that last error.
Jessie De Leon, she will serve.
Free ball.
Bombita.
But
Again.
this time, blocked.
And you know, just as we were saying that we didn't want her to repeat those errors.
Oh, error ba? At, was that into the net?
It was an error for Bombita. Billy Capisano with Mosey Ravenna. Balipure down by 2 points against Petrogas. This is our third set. For those who just tuned in, the Petrogas Angels already have 2 sets under their belt here in our game. So very crucial for Balipure. For those who are not aware as well, Petrogas has a better chance of securing a semifinal spot because Balipure, they also have to rely on the other teams ahead of them. And that's something that you definitely don't want if you're Balipure. You want to take control of your fate here in our league. But that is not the case for them. So every single game counts. They must win every single game moving forward. And off the hands of, that was Jessie De Leon. Let's take a look at it again to confirm. Right, that was Jessie, off the hands of Jessie De Leon. This spike of the set is brought to you by none other than Duncan. That was
Lakas lang talaga eh, no? Just a lot of power behind that hit.
attack points, 12 for Balipure and 8 for Petrogas. As Molina is blocked. She will try one more time.
Little varied that second attack.
And that is outside for the veteran, Grace Bombita, who's been playing well here in our game. We got some substitutions. We have Ivy Perez again joining her teammates.
Ito talaga, no, yung si Coach Arnold in this match, you can see na he's trying to shuffle all the players and give them minutes inside. And it's actually something that you feel that he's preparing for future games also.
Right. And here come the Petrogas Angels. Sloppy play for Balipure. Julia Angeles, their libero. As Balipure will call a timeout. 3 points na ang lamang ng Petro Gazz Angels kontra Balipure. Crucial moments of our third set, Mosey, of this game. Si Myla Pablo had some pretty good plays also a while ago.
Just when she was needed. Although, syempre, a lot of people expect a lot from her.
They go to Jerily. Sorry, that is, yes, Jerily Malabanan. She gets the point. $22 is our score for the Petro Gazz Angels. 18 naman para sa Balipure.
Oh, Baliton.
And Baleton. Tries to say sorry.
And remember, Baliton before in college was used as a setter towards the end of her collegiate career. Imagine, no, kung na-develop mo siya to a
Tangkad
setter.
na
Ang
setter.
laking setter. Parang Tina Sala,
Right.
diba?
19 serving 22. They go to Ria Meneses. Again, the defense of Petro Gazz showing up. They go to Baroga.
Baroga on the second try gets that to go. You know that the dad of Jaira, si Edgar Baroga,
Yes.
is a long-time national team
Yes.
player also in volleyball.
Definitely runs in the family. They go to Myla Pablo. Oh, what a smart play from Myla Pablo. And she means business here in our third
True.
set. $23 serving 20. Mendres will serve for the Gazz Angels. And they have a chance here to get this win. Bombita.
Wow! Bomba! Talaga.
Isa pa to.
Sa dynamite.
And Grace Bombita not giving up without a fight, that is for sure.
And that's what you love about her. Di ba kanina rin, ganun, kahit 24
Yes.
na yung Petro Gazz. Talagang will just do her thing.
Scrappy plays for the Angels, but they send it over to the other side. Blocked at the net. Nobody there for Balipure. Little miscommunication on their part will lead to a match point for Petro Gazz. Nag-hesitate yung dalawang mag-teammate. That was Julia Angeles and Bern Flora.
Flora was getting ready for the attack. Akala niya papunta na yung si Angeles.
But luckily for Bern Flora, she will get a point for her team.
Well, Balipure is just 2 points down. Although match point ng Petro Gazz. Let's see.
And Petro Gazz will call a timeout. Kasi syempre, yung
Ice the
momentum,
server.
yes, yung momentum nandito na sa Balipure. So what they want to do is try to, as you said it, ice the server. And you're gonna hope for an error from Kasugod right there. You can hear Rem Palma, medyo comedic relief naman for the Petro Gazz Angels. Parang masyado
We
daw
all
seryoso.
love her. Oh, we just all love her.
Medyo seryoso na daw yung Gazz Angels. Kaya
Ako may mga players ako na when I see them,
natutuwa ka na lang.
natutuwa talaga ako. Yung
And
without
Rem
saying
Palma.
anything, without playing. Oh, ayan.
Rem Palma is one of them. Good
Rosemary
serve.
Vargas. Ganyan.
And you know, Kasugod, we were saying that Petrogas would wish that was an error, but complete opposite happened. Look at that. Instead of icing her, they fired her up even more. She will try again. They go to Soltones.
Oh,
And a heartbreak for there for Balipure. What a heartbreaker.
the beast, the touch, kasi it hurt the other beast on the other side. But this has been a three-setter that is full of action. Diba, Billy?
It was a very, very good game. There you have it. Final score, Petrogas 25, Balipure 23. We're going to talk more about this game and get to know our top performer after this break. We are back and you're still watching the Premier Volleyball League Open Conference right here on One Sports, and the Petrogas Angels just got that win from the Balipure Water Defenders, and what a match that was, Mosey. You know, the Petrogas Angels really worked hard for it, but of course commendable effort from the Balipure Water Defenders.
That's right. And again, you know, we at least in this match we saw them play with a lot of heart, a lot of spunk, and a lot of enjoyable moments, diba? And not only enjoyable, but very competitive in this match against Petrogas. While Petrogas on the other side, a lot of players step up. Ivy Perez played a generally good game, distributing the ball. Ria Meneses guarding the net with about 8 points to her name. But this girl in this match was able to give us attacks and also digs and receptions. That's why we chose her as our best player of this match.
Yes, amazing performance by the Lady Beast herself, Gretch Soltones, who is with Ayi Tensai right now. So let's turn it over to Ayi. Let's see what, she's got to say.
Gretchen, napakalapit nung laban nyo kanina. Anong mindset na nanaig sa inyo kaya talagang nakabawi kayo at nakalamang sa latter half ng third set at natapos to with a straight sweep?
Always lang sinasabi sa amin ni Coach, minamindset namin before game kung paano kami makarecover as a team kung darating yung emergency na panahon.
Ayun. Pwede ka rin bumati sa iyong mamahal sa buhay.
Hi Papa Boards, Marvin Sultanes, sa fiancé ko MJ Morada, and then sa family Balase, Morada, Perez, sa Villavicencio family. Thank you po.
There you have it, Gretchen Sultones of the Petrogas Angels. See you later in later's game.
Gretchen Soltones of the Petrogas Angels. Once again, amazing performance from her. She really carried her team through this win. And guys, up next, we got the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors versus the Perla Spikers. It's going to be an interesting matchup as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Mosey. Last thoughts on our game.
Well, again, going towards the end of this tournament, a lot of players stepping up and a lot of games, quality games ahead of us. And this might be another one.
You never know. Some teams, you can never expect anything less from our teams here. Every single day is going to be unpredictable, no doubt. And that is it for us today. On behalf of One Sports, my partner, Mosey Ravena, Ayi Tensai, our director, Direk Raul de Ocampo, and everybody behind this production, my name is Billy Capistrano, thanking all of you for watching this coverage of the 2021 Premier Volleyball League Open Conference. We will see you guys again soon. Have a great night ahead.